Peter Charles here for Fly Fishing, and today we're going to tie one of my favorite patterns. It's a pattern of my own creation. It's called the diving caddis, and you know what, to tell you the truth, I debated long and hard about whether I really want to put this on YouTube or not, because it's been a great pattern for me, and you know, it's nice to have a few secrets in your fly box. But anyway, here it is. It imitates the Hydropsyche female. Now, to understand Hydropsyche, you know, the name may not mean much, but if I called it a spotted sedge or a tan caddis, you'd go, oh yeah, I know that one. And those females actually dive below the surface of the water to lay their eggs. And so you'll sometimes see them bouncing along the surface as they try to break through the surface tension. So that's the time to fish this fly. When you see females trying to break through the surface tension, bouncing on the surface, time to break this fly out. Also, fish it in riffle water. Don't fish it in the dead water or the slow pools. Hydropsyche live in the riffles. They're going to lay their eggs in the riffles. So be sure to fish it there, nowhere else. You can also use it as a searching pattern when you are unsure as to what's out there, you don't see too much bug activity. Run it through the riffles. You often will turn up a fish or two. And the last thing I should mention is pulse it. Don't swing it on a straight swing. Give it some life, pulse it, make it look like it's flying through the water. Anyway, here it is, the diving caddis. Let's start by looking at our materials. Our thread today is Unithread 10 and an 8/0. Our hook today is a B175 Kamasan heavy trout hook. This is a traditional wet fly hook, so you can use any standard wet fly hook like a Mustad 3906B or any other equivalent will do the job. Our wing is a turkey quill. Our hackle is gray partridge. With the dubbing, we have some options. I'm going with this light Cahill dry, but you could work with a, you know, sort of a caddis green. You can work with a number of different colors depending on the exact Hydropsyche species you're trying to imitate. Most of the time you're looking at a tan body, so that's what I'm going with today. And the last item is a gold wire. Okay, let's get started. We're going to wind on a little bit of our 8/0 here. Start just behind the eye. Clip that off. The next thing to tie in is our gold wire. Just lay it in front of the hook, make a wrap, just pull it around, then continue back. Just keep it on the side. Let's go right back to where the bend of the hook starts. Now we're going to make a dubbing rope, and I'm going to use wax. I recommend wax when you're just learning to put on dubbing, and it doesn't hurt to put a bit on your fingers as well. Now don't lay this on thick, because the body on this is not large, so we don't need a great lump of dubbing here. Push it up to the top. Now the abdomens on caddis are kind of bulky looking things. They're bulbous, so we're going to make sure we give that effect. And we're not worried about all that little bits hanging off. That just helps the fly look buggy in the water. Now we're going to grab our wire. I would recommend using hackle pliers if you're not used to winding slippery wire. And using the rotary vise here, you can see how I get really nice even turns with my wire. Just one last turn, bring it in there. Now we'll move our material keeper out of the way. And we'll wind on. At this point, you just helicopter your wire off. Okay, let's look at my partridge feather here. This is how it comes out of the bag. I've just picked off a bit of the fluff. But how I'm actually going to use it, it looks like this. I have trimmed off most of it and cut the tip into this little V. that V becomes the tying in point. And then I'll tie in that little V, and I'll just pull a few more strokes. There we go. If you've got a couple of fibers, if you've got a couple of barbs forward, just stroke them out of the way. Now another tool you can use is a half-hitch tool. It's handy to use and get to know how to use it. And just lay the half-hitch tool, put the thread around it, and slide it off like that. And we'll go back to our hackle pliers. Now be careful with these quills, they can be quite easily broken. So take your time with it. Now we're going to stroke these back. If you're getting some coming out the front, that's not a problem. We want this to look like the legs of the caddis as it flies through the water, so that bugginess doesn't hurt. What I'll do is I'll just tuck those behind. Now I'll just trim off that quill, moving my thread out of the way so I don't cut it. And I'll just push these back into position. Now I'll wrap. Perfect. Okay. When you pulse this as you swing it, those partridge barbs are going to pulse like this. And it's going to look very alive as you do that. The last part is our wing, and I've taken off a slip from the turkey quill. And I've cut the end off here. The end is quite thick, so I've cut that off. Now I'm going to turn that so it faces me. I'm going to pinch that down. Just pull it back so it reveals the eye, and then I'm just going to do a very soft loop and then tighten up those loops. And I'm just going to make sure that is sitting squarely on top, and it is. Now the next step is to put a little V in it. So the wing on a caddis is always larger than the body. So I'll put a V cut in it like that. Now all we need to do at this stage is whip finish. And then we've got one more job to do. Don't worry if this fly looks a little ragged. Ragged is good with this particular pattern. Got legs sticking out all over the place, that's good. Now the last step is to split this wing right down the middle. Use your bodkin, split it out like that. And what will happen as you fish this, and as fish start hitting it, it will get more and more ragged, the wing will start looking quite distressed and ripped up, and that's when it works better. You want that wing to be quite ragged looking. That gives it the fluttering look as it goes through the water. Okay, so there's your diving caddis. A very, very effective, easy pattern to tie. It has caught a lot of fish for me over the years, so give it a try. Remember, look for diving caddis. Those are the females laying eggs. Fish it in the riffle water and pulse it, and you will catch fish. Have fun.